Hi, my name is Sylvia. I'm a certified health coach and fitness trainer, and today I'm sharing a 5-day keto vegan meal plan. As you know, I often recommend that you switch things up, whether it's to break through a weight loss plateau or just to maintain your overall health. It's a good idea to spice it up a little bit sometimes and change your diet style, change your intermittent fasting style. So that's why I came up with this 5-day keto vegan meal plan. And another reason I decided to come up with that is that I noticed that some vegans are really snob when it comes to the keto diet because they envision something that is filled with dairy, meat, bacon, and this just doesn't sound healthy to a lot of vegans, and they think that the keto diet is not something that really benefits you. However, I wanted to show that it's not what the keto diet is about. You can do the keto diet and do it very helpfully. And as far as the vegan diet goes, it is definitely hard to do the keto diet if you are vegan. It is doable, and that's what I'm going to show with this meal plan. Although I do want to specify that you will not be able to get enough protein if you maintain a low carb intake as required on the keto diet. So this is probably something you could do on a temporary basis. Actually, 5 days is great. It actually reminds me a little bit of the types of food you have to consume when you do the fasting mimicking diet. So when I created this meal plan, I felt it was quite similar to what I created for you when I created fasting mimicking diet meal plans. Again, the protein intake tends to sit around 10%. So the only difference with the fasting mimicking diet and this keto vegan meal plan is that you are getting more calories each day, but you are going to be able to achieve ketosis, which may be great to kickstart your weight loss, fight off the cravings. In this video, I wanted to give you a brief overview of what the meal plan is about, give you some shopping tips, some cooking tips, just to make it easier for you if you do decide to try it out. I'm not going to go through all the recipes and make them in this video. You can just go in the description below, click on the link, you'll find all our recipes, the meal plan, as well as a grocery shopping list there. But here, again, I'm going to give you some more tips to allow you to use this meal plan as efficiently as possible. Now, the first thing is that if you look at the grocery shopping list that I included with the meal plan, it doesn't have any quantities. And the reason I didn't include quantities is that most likely you're cooking for other people. It's not just for you. All the recipes serve only one person. That's to make sure that you get your right macros. You can measure your food separately. This way you'll ensure that all your macros are accurate. But you can use the same ingredients and cook them on a bigger scale for the rest of your family. And what I would recommend is that if you are following this meal plan for yourself, use these recipes for the rest of your family, maybe as a side dish, and like add some grains or meats or whatever else your family enjoys to stretch your meals. But when I was creating the recipes, at first, I was kind of trying, like if one meal is using, say, half an avocado, at first I wanted to try to have the other half for dinner, but it didn't really work out. I wasn't able to do that, and then you know what? I figured, hopefully you're cooking for someone else, so you can use that other half of avocado. I know avocados don't keep very long, so it's tricky if you're using half. You feel like you may be wasting the other half. But that is pretty much the only issues I came upon, apart from not being able to get enough protein to follow the actual keto macros. Another thing that I found is whether you look online or whether you use a recipe book, anyone who claims to be creating keto vegan recipes is actually not creating keto vegan recipes. The recipes typically have more carbs than what you would be allowed to eat on the keto diet. Or, like in my case, I was super careful to stick to the carb content because that is the most important factor to get you in ketosis, but then I didn't end up having enough protein. You can also supplement with protein. So again, in my blog post, I recommend a vegan protein supplement that you can also use if you wish. And apart from that, okay, so now let's go through some of the ingredients I want to show you here. Okay, hemp heart. Hemp heart is your best friend if you want to increase your fat and protein intake on the keto vegan diet without increasing your carbs too much. That is an ingredient that I used in most of the recipes, and I used a lot of it. A lot of the recipes, they have like 6 tablespoons for one meal, you'll find. So that's something you absolutely need that. Okay, another ingredient that one recipe calls for is rami, which is a dried sea vegetable. You may be able to find it at your grocery store, you may be able to find it online, or just skip that recipe. I mean, you can easily trade one recipe for another. I mean, if there's something you don't want to make on the meal plan, you can make another of the recipes twice, like it's not a big deal. You have the flexibility. Most of the macros are pretty similar between the meals, you'll find that. And that will not ruin your results, okay? Don't sweat it and give yourself some freedom and flexibility as you are following this meal plan. Another thing that you'll notice is that each day for breakfast, I have you consume a keto coffee. And the reason I did that is that it allowed me to increase your calorie consumption because I wanted to make sure you have enough calories. I set the number of calories between 15 and 1600 a day, which you might think is low, but since a lot of you are trying to lose weight, I figured that wouldn't be a big deal to have a bit of a lower calorie consumption. I think that this is probably very close to the regular number of calories that I need to consume just to remain at my goal weight, not to lose much weight at all. I think a lot of us overestimate how many calories we need. And then if we don't need tons of calories and if we can't eat whatever we want to eat without gaining weight, we think our metabolism is broken, but it's not the case. Your metabolism isn't broken if you need less food. It doesn't have to be a curse. It's a matter of mindset. And there is some advantages to feeling satisfied with less food. For one thing, John Furman, I really enjoy his stuff. He has great recipes and great information. He talks about the connection between having a slower metabolism and aging slower. So that can be a benefit. And also not having to worry about food as much, right? If you don't need to eat as much, you don't need to cook as much, you don't need to spend as much in food purchases. So there are some benefits there as well. But obviously, you're going to find your own sweet spot. You'll have to find how many calories you need for yourself. We're all different. I don't recommend you count calories in general. So what you could do with this meal plan, for example, is just follow the recipes and see how you feel. If you're full and you can't finish a meal, don't finish it. If you're hungrier, then maybe have a handful of nuts or eat something extra. Try to listen to your body. That is what I would like you to do most during this 5-day period. Don't obsess over your calories and all that, but it's good to be aware of the fact that calories do matter, whether you're on a keto diet, you're eating whole foods or whatever. If you're eating too many calories, you will not be losing weight if that's one of your goals. Okay. I got sidetracked a little bit here. Let's get back to our ingredients. So with the keto coffee, it's simple. You just use some coconut milk with your brewed coffee. And coconut milk has to be full fat. And I use organic coconut milk that I ordered from Amazon. You can purchase yours from wherever. Just make sure it's good quality. A lot of the canned coconut milks have additives, so you just want to check that. And then you'll use that for your coffee and a lot of the other recipes. Also, in your coffee, you can use MTC oil or just coconut oil. You don't need to put MTC oil, you can use coconut oil. Another thing is a lot of the recipes use broccoli and cauliflower. I buy them in bags just like that. So you can do that, it saves time. Or just buy a bunch and chop it up. That's fine as well. Same thing with coleslaw. I have 2 recipes that use a coleslaw mix. So you can use it you can buy it in bags or just buy your cabbage and shred it, right? That's fine too. And then you'll need some spinach. You'll need a little bit of lettuce leaves. 2 recipes use lettuce leaves for wraps. And then one recipe uses asparagus. I got a bag of asparagus at Costco. You'll need some mushrooms. There's some pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. My recipes also call for lemon juice or lime juice quite often. You don't really need to have both. Sometimes you can just use lemon when it calls for lime. It's not a big deal. Lime does have a bit of a different flavor, which I really enjoy with avocado. But when I run out of lime, I use lemon. Just do the same thing if you need to, okay? Another thing that I do want to mention is nutritional yeast. So I have one recipe that calls for a vegan pesto. The nutritional yeast helps you achieve that cheesy flavor that pesto has. So that's why it's in there. Another thing that you'll see in a grocery shopping list is rice cauliflower. I like to buy frozen rice cauliflower. It makes it super easy. You don't have to make a mess making your own rice cauliflower. But again, you can put your cauliflower in the food processor and rice it yourself. And another ingredient that I want to talk about is fresh cilantro and fresh parsley. A lot of my recipes include fresh cilantro. I love fresh cilantro. It's amazing. I have it in my garden and I'm so happy that it's still cilantro season in my garden. So when you go grocery shopping, if you love cilantro the way I do, and if you can't get it from your garden, just get a bunch of cilantro. You don't have to get parsley. Or you can get both and switch things up. You can sometimes use cilantro, you can sometimes use parsley, or if you don't like cilantro, just use parsley. Again, I want to emphasize that you can make those recipes your own that way. And lastly, I have one keto smoothie recipe that I created. In the recipe, I use a frozen triple berry mix that I get from Costco. So just use whatever you can find as well. As long as it's blueberries and raspberries and blackberries, you'll be fine. That's pretty simple. And otherwise, I think that's about all you need to know to follow the Keto Vegan Meal Plan. I hope it helps you feel amazing. I like to try plans like this temporarily on a regular basis because it just makes me feel great, and it helps reset your taste bud. It helps lose the cravings. If you start craving foods again, it's kind of fun as well. So tell me what you think, and we'll see you next week.